on May 30th, the three girls ended up having a sleepover for Morgan's birthday. It was expected to be a sleepover just like any other typical 6th grade sleepover. The girls went roller skating at Skateland, they got frozen yogurt, they were just hanging out at Morgan's house before deciding that they were going to go to bed, which was a little bit earlier than usual. And that going to bed early part kind of sticks out as odd in this case, because usually Morgan wanted to stay up late, and the sleepover was at her house and for her birthday. However, she's the one who had the idea to go to sleep early. So nonetheless, the girls all settle in and hit the sack for an early night, with only Morgan and Anissa knowing what would be coming next. A plan that they had hatched to murder Peyton. And this plan had been in the works for 6 months. For 6 months, these two young 6th grade girls were plotting to kill their best friend. But why? Well, apparently, they were planning this to prove their worth to someone by the name of Slender Man. And now you guys probably are thinking, oh, I remember this case, but there's a few of them that had to do with Slender Man, which is bizarre in itself. So they were planning to commit this murder on Peyton because they wanted to prove their worth to Slender Man. And Slender Man is a person who is a fictional character. It's a made-up story about this really tall, creepy guy who's completely faceless and he wears suits all the time. Just a true, nightmare and scary story. And this Slender Man character also supposedly preyed on kids. He also apparently had a huge mansion, but in order to live in the mansion, girls or boys or whoever these kids were who wanted to join needed to somehow prove their worth to Slender Man. So in order to do that, they planned on killing Peyton, almost like a sacrificial offering of sorts, just beyond strange and beyond disturbing. But nonetheless, these two girls planned the murder of their friend as a means to please this fictional character. And this was a plan that they had talked about constantly with each other, so much so that they even talked about it in public. But when they would talk about it on the bus or other places in public, they would use code words. Now, Morgan's mom knew that Morgan liked Slender Man because apparently she herself was very into Stephen King novels when she was younger, when she was Morgan's age, and she figured, this was just a normal middle schooler thing. You're kind of fascinated with the darkness, you're fascinated with the mystery and the mystical almost, so she didn't really think too much of it. And she had absolutely no idea what was going on deep down or at all that something was actually being plotted that was extremely sinister. And as for Peyton, she did not believe in this Slender Man crap. It was not up her alley. She did not believe it. But because she was friends with Morgan and Anissa, she of course listened to them talk about Slender Man all the time. Obviously, she didn't hear them talk about this planned attack, but she did know that they were fascinated with this character. But she didn't think anything of it because, again, she just thought that it was what Morgan was into, that they were into this random creepy guy. She was just trying to be a good friend and listen with no judgment. So Morgan and Anissa had been plotting for months and ultimately had planned this murder to be at that birthday sleepover. The plan was to wake up around 2 a.m., duct tape Peyton's mouth, and then stab her in the neck. And these girls went forward with that plan. They woke up, set their alarms, woke up at 2 a.m. However, when they woke up, they reportedly were too sleepy and went back to bed. Okay, a little too tired for murder. You're waking up, you're like, no, maybe not today, maybe not now. It's 2 a.m. I need to roll back over. A little too tired for murder. Okay, yeah, I get it. Guys, I can't, wow, okay. So in the morning, all three of the girls wake up and they have donuts for breakfast and they're all hanging out. They start playing on electronics, they're playing games, they're playing dress up together, and really just, again, doing typical sleepover stuff. And while Peyton was getting dressed up in her dress-up outfit in the bathroom, the girls quickly started hatching another plan. And the fact that these kids were playing a game as innocent as dress-up, all while planning a murder at the same time, is just sickening and very, very unsettling.